Hello Lakers fan, if you are one of those who are always up to date with the news about our Lakers, then you need to stay tuned to what is coming up on our Lakers news channel. I am preparing exclusive coverage on the possible signings of LAKERS, and what I can tell you is that rumors are catching fire on social media, and if you don't want to miss any information, stay tuned. We have exclusive news every day. If you are a true Lakers and don't want to be left out of the news, be sure to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let's go to the video.
LeBron James opens up about knee injury and career milestone with son Bronny. Shortly after the Los Angeles Lakers playoff exit at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves, it was revealed that LeBron James had suffered a grade 2 sprain of his medial collateral ligament, MCL, following a collision with Donte DiVincenzo. Until now, LeBron had remained silent about the true extent of the injury, until he addressed it on a recent episode of the Mind the Game podcast with Steve Nash. For the first time in my 22-year career, I dealt with a real knee injury, LeBron shared, visibly reflecting on the moment. I've had tendonitis, patella stuff, you name it. But this was different. This was the first time I heard my body say, "You need to stop. You can't push through this one." He described the moment the injury happened in vivid detail. As soon as I collided with Donte, I felt it. My knee locked up right away. I stayed on the floor, hoping it would loosen up, but deep down I knew. This wasn't normal pain. This was something I'd never felt before. Doctors told him he'd need 4 to 6 weeks to recover. And while the competitor in him wanted to keep fighting, LeBron admitted that even if the Lakers had forced a game 6 or 7, he likely wouldn't have been able to play. "That's the tough part," he said. "Of course I wanted to be out there. But the truth is, even if we'd won game 5, I probably would have missed the rest of the series, and maybe more." The morning after the injury was the turning point. I told the doctors Wednesday night it hurt, yeah, but if it felt worse Thursday morning, we'd need an MRI. Sure enough, I got out of bed and thought, damn. I couldn't even wait for Friday. I called the medical team right then and said, "We need to do this today." That was pretty much the end of my season, unfortunately. Despite being in the twilight of his career, LeBron has consistently defied age and expectations, appearing in 70-plus games each of the last 2 seasons. But this injury hit differently, and he knew it from the moment it happened. With the off-season ahead, he now has the time he needs to fully heal. And assuming he returns for what would be his 8th season with the Lakers, fans can expect him back and ready to go when the new season tips off. "Playing with Bronny was the greatest moment of my career," LeBron James. LeBron James has done just about everything there is to do in basketball. 4-time NBA champion, League MVP, All-Star MVP, Olympic gold medalist. But when asked about his proudest accomplishment, it wasn't a title or a trophy, it was sharing the court with his son, Bronny James. Number 1. No question. Not even close, LeBron said, his voice full of emotion. "Getting to play the game I love, side by side with my son this season, it's been the most rewarding journey of my life." He recalled the entire ride, from the night Bronny was drafted in New York, to his first steps in Summer League, to the struggles and growth that followed. To see him push through the hard times, to watch him get better every day, mentally and physically. That's what it's all about. LeBron especially cherishes the memory of their first time sharing the floor during a preseason game in Palm Springs. Seeing him suited up, going up against Minnesota, it was surreal. And watching how he's grown defensively, how he's carved out a role on this team. I couldn't be prouder. The moment LeBron and Bronny shared the court wasn't just a family milestone, it was a historic moment for the NBA. For the first time ever, a father and son played together on the same team in a professional basketball game, sparking headlines around the world and igniting conversations across sports media and fan communities alike. "It's one thing to dream about making the league," LeBron said, "but to share the floor with your son? That's something I couldn't even imagine when I started this journey. It's beyond basketball, it's legacy, it's family, it's everything." Bronny, still in the early stages of his career, has shown flashes of potential despite the pressure of carrying the James name. LeBron has remained a steady mentor, often seen encouraging his son during timeouts, in practice, and even on social media. "I tell him all the time, just be you. Don't worry about comparisons. Your path is your own." The media response has been overwhelming. Analysts and former players have praised not only the emotional significance of the moment, but also its broader impact on the culture of the NBA. "This goes way beyond stats or wins," said former NBA player Jalen Rose. What we're seeing is a full circle moment, a generational passing of the torch, live on an NBA court. Fans, too, have embraced the story. Social media exploded with reactions the night the two played their first minutes together, with hashtags like #JamesLegacy and #LikeFatherLikeSon trending within hours. One viral post summed up the sentiment perfectly: "We've seen greatness for 20 years. Now we get to see what greatness raised." As LeBron recovers from his knee injury, the Lakers organization is already making strategic decisions about the future, one that could very well include another season of the James duo. Sources close to the team suggest there's mutual interest in re-signing both players for the upcoming season, and with LeBron expressing interest in continuing his career, that possibility feels increasingly likely. "I'm not done," LeBron stated with clarity on the podcast. "As long as my body holds up and my heart's still in it, I'll be out there. And if I get to do that with Bronny by my side, that's a blessing I'll never take for granted." With time to heal and a legacy still unfolding, LeBron James isn't just thinking about retirement, he's thinking about what's next. And if his words and actions are any indication, the NBA hasn't seen the last chapter of the James family story just yet. LeBron James opens up about emotions after Lakers' playoff exit to the Timberwolves. At this stage in his career, LeBron James has made one thing clear: he's playing for championships, nothing less. But after a tough first-round exit, where the Los Angeles Lakers were eliminated by the Minnesota Timberwolves in just 5 games, reality hit hard. Reflecting on the emotional roller coaster of that series, LeBron spoke candidly on the latest episode of his Mind the Game podcast with Steve Nash, offering a raw and honest glimpse into his mindset following the loss. "You go through all kinds of emotions after something like that," he said. "And I gave myself the space to feel every one of them. I've been replaying everything in my mind, what I could have done better, what we could have done differently as a team, breaking down matchups, trying to understand why things played out the way they did. It's been on my mind since Wednesday night when the season ended." Each day since has felt different for LeBron, as he processes the loss and shifts into reflection mode. "I've come to terms with it now, a few days later. I'm watching the rest of the playoffs unfold and learning from it all. But yeah, I felt everything, from frustration to disappointment. We finished the regular season strong, but in the playoffs, it's never about just how good you were over 82 games. It's about the matchup, and we ran into a tough one." James gave full credit to the Timberwolves, calling them battle-tested, hungry, young but experienced, and acknowledged that they simply executed better when it mattered most. The Lakers had their chances. Games 3, 4, and 5 were close contests decided in the final minutes, but they couldn't find a way to close. That sting is something that clearly still lingers for James. Though he's been non-committal about his future with the Lakers and the NBA, one thing is evident: the fire still burns. He still cares deeply, and he still wants to win. If he does return for the 2025-26 season, as many expect, there's no doubt that this early exit will serve as powerful fuel. "This loss has to mean something," James said with quiet intensity. "Otherwise, what are we doing it for?" Rob Pelinka aware of LeBron's expectations heading into off-season. As the Lakers regroup and look toward the off-season, General Manager Rob Pelinka is under no illusions. LeBron James will have high expectations. And rightfully so. "I know LeBron's going to want to see a roster that can contend. That's the standard he holds himself to, and it's the standard he holds us to," Pelinka said. "We'll do everything in our power to meet those expectations." But regardless of how the roster shapes up, Pelinka knows one thing for certain: LeBron will show up and give everything he has. Whatever the situation, we know he's going to give 100%. Whether it's scoring, facilitating, rebounding, defending, or leading, he never gives less than everything. That's never been in question. With LeBron's competitive spirit still very much alive, and Bronny James entering his second year, the 2025-26 season could offer one of the most compelling chapters yet in the Lakers' ongoing story. LeBron's uncertain future adds weight to the off-season. LeBron's openness about his emotions and uncertainty surrounding his future has naturally sparked major conversations throughout the league. At 40 years old, with over 2 decades of NBA excellence behind him, each season carries the question: is this the final chapter? Though he hasn't made a definitive announcement, his tone during the podcast was one of reflection, of someone evaluating not just the loss, but the direction of his career, family, and legacy. "I still love the game," he said. "I still wake up thinking about it. But it's not just about me anymore. It's about my body, my family, and what makes sense at this point in my life. His remarks added fuel to ongoing speculation about whether he'll return to the Lakers, explore free agency, or even consider retirement. That uncertainty has intensified pressure on the Lakers front office to act decisively. NBA community reacts. The clock is ticking. Following LeBron's comments, reactions poured in across the NBA landscape. Players, analysts, and fans alike recognized the gravity of what he shared, not just as a competitor, but as a human being. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski called it a pivotal crossroads for the Lakers franchise, while former teammate Dwayne Wade commented on social media, "Only LeBron can decide what's next, but whatever it is, we all owe him a moment to appreciate what he's already given this game." Even Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards, who helped eliminate LeBron's team, spoke with respect after the series. He's still one of the hardest guys to play against. What he's done for the game, it's bigger than basketball. Pressure mounts on Lakers to deliver. Inside the Lakers organization, the message is clear: changes are coming. With LeBron's window closing, whether it's 1 year or more, the franchise can't afford to waste time. Beyond Pelinka's comments, league sources say the Lakers will aggressively pursue roster upgrades this summer, including targeting perimeter shooting, a reliable third scoring option, and veteran defensive depth. The front office knows that simply making the playoffs isn't enough, not with LeBron on the roster. The development of younger players like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura is promising, but not enough to shoulder a championship run alone. And while Anthony Davis had a strong season, inconsistency and health concerns remain. The possibility of Bronny James continuing to grow into a rotational role also looms large, not just for its symbolic value, but for how it might impact team chemistry and long-term planning. What's next for LeBron and the Lakers? The coming months will be critical. LeBron is expected to take time to rest, fully recover from his knee injury, and reflect with his inner circle before making a decision about the 2025-26 season. If he returns, it will likely be under the condition that the Lakers are ready to truly contend. If not, fans and the league alike may be forced to confront the reality that one of the greatest careers in sports history is nearing its final act. But as long as LeBron James laces up his sneakers, one thing remains true: he's not just chasing wins, he's chasing meaning, legacy, and the chance to share it with the next generation, especially his son. And that, in itself, is a story worth watching. LeBron James defends J.J. Redick's coaching decisions after Game 4 loss to Timberwolves. In the wake of the Los Angeles Lakers' heartbreaking loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 4 of the first-round playoff series, questions quickly arose, particularly about J.J. Redick's coaching decisions. One of the most talked-about moments was Redick's choice to keep the same five-man unit: LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Dorian Finney-Smith, on the floor for the entire second half without a single substitution. With the Lakers desperately needing a win to tie the series 2-2, Redick leaned on the group he trusted most. But as fatigue visibly set in during the final minutes and the team struggled to close, some pointed fingers at Redick for not rotating fresh legs in. LeBron James, however, wasn't having it. On the latest episode of his Mind the Game podcast with Steve Nash, James passionately defended the decision, rejecting any notion that exhaustion was the root cause of the loss. "I felt locked in," LeBron said. "I wasn't tired. I wasn't asking to come out. If a sub had come in, sure, I would have rolled with it. But we were in a position to tie the series on the road against a tough team. The coaching staff took a risk and trusted us, and honestly, we had our shot. We just didn't make enough plays when it counted." He went on to clarify that the fatigue he felt after the game had nothing to do with the minutes logged. "Yeah, I was exhausted. But not because I played 24 straight minutes in the second half. I was drained because I poured everything, my body, my mind, my soul, into that game for 48 minutes. That's playoff basketball. That's what it demands." We never questioned JJ. LeBron takes responsibility for Game 4 outcome. LeBron also made it clear that no one in the locker room questioned J.J. Redick's game plan or coaching decisions, not during the game, and not after. "Not one of us pointed fingers," James emphasized. "Guys like Gabe Vincent and Vondo Jared Vanderbilt, they wanted to be out there, of course they did. They're competitors. But J.J. made a call based on the rhythm of the game and the feel of the moment, not because he didn't trust anyone. And we understood that." He added, "We didn't look at J.J. or the staff and say, 'This is on you.' No, this one's on us. We had the opportunity, and we didn't capitalize. Despite the outside noise and criticism, the team's internal response was unified. They stood behind Redick and the coaching staff, recognizing the strategy wasn't born out of hesitation, but out of conviction. Season ends, reflection begins. With the Lakers officially eliminated and the season now over, emotions are still fresh. But LeBron, as he always does, has started to unpack the experience. "Obviously it hurts," he said. "We didn't expect our playoff run to end this early. But I've taken some time to reflect. I've gone back through it all, what I could have done better, what we could have done better as a group. That's just who I am." Still, James acknowledged a truth he's learned over 2 decades of postseason battles. It's not always about regular season records or talent on paper, it's about the matchup. In the playoffs, matchups dictate everything, he explained. And Minnesota? They were a tough matchup for us. A young team, but also mature in how they executed. Battle-tested, hungry, and they wanted it. What comes next for LeBron and the Lakers? While LeBron hasn't confirmed whether he'll return for the 2025-26 season, his tone suggests unfinished business. His passion for the game, his accountability, and his commitment to leadership haven't faded. And while fans and media continue to dissect the end of the Lakers season, inside the locker room, one thing is clear: the team still believes in each other. They believe in their coach. And they believe the future still holds promise, if they're willing to grow from the pain of this loss. For now, LeBron will rest, recover, and reflect. But if history is any indicator, he won't stay quiet for long. Lakers' exit sparks broader questions about the franchise's direction. As LeBron James takes accountability for the Lakers' early playoff exit, the ripple effects of the team's first-round loss are being felt throughout the organization. While James has publicly supported head coach J.J. Redick and taken the blame off the coaching staff, the result has triggered deeper questions about the franchise's long-term trajectory, and whether enough is being done to keep championship windows open. Despite having 2 generational talents in LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the Lakers once again underperformed in the postseason. It's now the 2nd year in a row the team has fallen short of expectations, and internal and external pressure is mounting on general manager Rob Pelinka to make meaningful changes this offseason. Roster changes on the horizon. Multiple sources around the league expect the Lakers to be aggressive this summer. Upgrades in perimeter shooting, depth at the wing, and a more reliable second-unit playmaker are among the top priorities. There's also growing speculation that the team may explore the trade market, potentially dangling draft picks and young assets to build a more win-now roster around James, if he decides to return. LeBron's timeline is not long, one Western Conference executive said anonymously. If the Lakers want to maximize whatever time they have left with him, they've got to go all in now. Pelinka himself acknowledged this in his post-season media availability. "We know what's at stake. We have one of the greatest players of all time, still performing at an elite level. It's our job to give him the tools to win. No excuses. Team culture still intact." What's perhaps most remarkable, even in defeat, is the strong sense of unity within the Lakers locker room. According to multiple players and staff, the belief in Redick's leadership hasn't wavered. Veterans like Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves have echoed LeBron's sentiments, praising Redick's communication, feel for the game, and willingness to take risks, like the second-half lineup decision in Game 4. "He's earned our respect," Davis reportedly told a team insider. "The season didn't end how we wanted, but that doesn't mean the foundation isn't strong. We just have to keep building." Public reaction split, but respect for LeBron grows. Meanwhile, fans and analysts have had mixed reactions. Some continue to criticize Redick's inexperience, while others have praised the team's effort and LeBron's leadership in a tough situation. "LeBron gave everything he had," said NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins on ESPN. "He's still the guy setting the tone out there, even at 40. That's not the problem. The front office needs to do better. Period." Social media has also rallied around LeBron's transparency. His honest reflections on fatigue, trust in coaching, and personal accountability have only deepened respect for him among both fans and fellow athletes. Looking ahead, will LeBron return? The biggest question now hanging over the franchise is whether LeBron will return for another season in purple and gold. While he hasn't committed publicly, many believe he's leaning toward one more run, especially if his son Bronny continues to progress in his 2nd year. Insiders suggest that LeBron is expected to take several weeks to rest, evaluate his health, and hold conversations with his family and agent Rich Paul before making a decision. He's also expected to be involved in off-season discussions with Pelinka, indicating that his voice still carries weight in roster-building decisions. If LeBron returns, expect urgency like never before from the Lakers front office. Because this time, it's not just about chasing another title, it's about honoring a legend's final years with the respect, effort, and ambition he's more than earned.